Good evening and welcome to War Thunder. I am Old Dead Man, your host. We've got some BR changes coming in November. They've just announced them, which means they got to implement them within the next, 5 days or so. As always, I'll put a link to the entire set of changes below, but I'm only going to focus on the realistic ones. So let's take a look at what we've got. We're going to go type, country, then BRs. So we'll be starting with aircraft, then tanks, then naval, and we'll see where we go from there. All right, let's get started. Over in Britain, the Spitfire Mark II-B will be going from 3.3 to 3.7. The Buccaneer S1 is going from 8.7 to 9.0. And the Buccaneer S2 is going from 9.3 to 9.7. Kind of surprised on the Buccaneers. I really didn't think they'd be moving up much. But, they have, or at least are going to. Let's move over to France. Over in France, the Mirage 3E and 3C are both going from 10.7 to 10.3. Italy has two changes. The C202EC is going from 3.3 to 3.7, and the F104S is going from 10.3 to 10.7. Over in Japan, the A6M2 Model 11 is going from 3.3 to 3.7, and the Kika is moving from 6.7 to 7.0. I'm a little surprised about the Kika, to be honest. It really... I don't know if it can support that, but that might put more of the jets up above that 7.0 line. And the F4EJ Kai Phantom 2 will be going from 11.0 to 11.3, giving us our first 11.3 aircraft. Over in Russia, the LA-5F will be moving from 3.3 to 3.7, and the second 11.3 aircraft will be the MiG-23 MLD, which is moving from 11.0 to 11.3. And over in the United States, the P-51C-10 will be moving from 4.0 to 3.7, with the P-47D-22RE dropping from 4.3 to 4.0. With the last aircraft getting a change being the F9F8, the Panther, going from 8.3 to 8.7. Apparently, those air-to-air missiles are making a difference in its effectiveness. Let's move on to ground vehicles. Over in Britain, both Crusader Mark IIs are going from 2.3 to 2.7. And the party bus is getting a little easier to drive as it drops from 6.3 to 6.0. That would be the Rotel 90. The French Crusader Mark II is joining its British cousins over in 2.7. That's from 2.3. As for the EBRs, the EBR 1951 is going from 4.3 to 4.7. And the EBR 1954 is going from 6.0 to 6.3. That doesn't surprise me a whole lot. We're getting into some seriously good territory with these vehicles, and they're just that kind of agile that they're able to pull it off. Finally, the Char 25T is moving from 7.0 to 7.3. Not so sure this one can support it, but, maybe the statistics say something. Who knows? One thing I did miss for France is the LVT 440 Battle Pass vehicles going from 2.3 to 3.0. Apparently, you get that many Bofors cannons on one little LVT, and it becomes to be a really effective vehicle. I've been seeing it a lot. Over in Germany, the Puma 234-4 is going from 4.0 to 4.3. Really effective gun, not surprised. The Ocelot and the Weissel 1A2 are going from 9.0 to 9.3. Sauntering across a couple of oceans and continents, we go over to Japan, and we get the Chi-Nu 2, which is going from 4.0 to 4.3. Again, not surprised. Very effective, good tank. The premium Hori prototype is going from 6.3 to 6.7, and its big brother is going from 7.0 to 7.3. The only changeover in Russia is the BM-13N. It's the premium, it used to be just a decorator in the game, but now it's actually a full-blown vehicle, and it's in there with those rockets at now going from 3.0 to 2.7. This appears to be a mistake. The actual chart shows the Stridsforden 90B, but I believe they're referring to the 9040B, which is going from 8.3 to 9.0. And over here in the United States, a move that should surprise nobody, the T-26E5 is moving from 6.3 to 6.7, bringing that entire 6.7 lineup of the US's into an even more powerful state. The last tank tree change is the M1128 going from 9.3 to 9.7. Not so sure this one will support it because, while I had a lot of fun spading the M1128, it was challenging to say the least. But let's move on to naval. The German Z-43 is moving from 5.0 to 4.7. And the IJN Ubari over in Japan is making the same move from 5.0 to 4.7. Italy gets a couple of nice changes with the RN Leon and the RN Tigre both going from 4.7 to 4.3. And finally, the USS Hoquiam is going from 3.7 to 3.3. So it's quite a few little just itty bitty changes in naval. Now, there are several additional changes that they are looking into. In fact, they've got some planned changes going on, some balance changes, and some new ammunition added. As far as they did mention a couple of things specifically. So they're mentioning they are raising the bar to 11.3 for aircraft to have those avoid the possibility of being encountered at lower BRs. They're looking at, but have not implemented for this change, a change to 11.3 for certain helicopters, the Ka-52, the Mi-28NM, and the AH Mark I Apache, specifically to exclude them from BR 10.0 battles. Other changes they're making for balance are going to change the fire rate of the IKV-103 from 6 to 7.5 shots per minute, the Su-57B from 12 to 14, and boy, does it need it, the ASU-85 from 7 to 8 to 8.4, the Sturmpanzer II from 4 to 4.5, the Martyr 3 from 8.4 to 10, the Su-51 from 12 to 14, and the Horo from 3 to 4.5. They are adding to the T90A the 3BM60 ammunition. The M1A2 is going to get the M829A2 ammunition. The Leopard 2PL is getting DM53, and the Leopard 2A5 is also getting DM53. So they're bumping up some effectiveness of those top-tier vehicles, and they are also giving a little bit of a boost to some of those struggling vehicles at the lower tiers that could use just a little bit more help getting it out there. So what do you think of these BR changes? Are you excited about them? None of them really jump out at me as being big except for the change to 11.3 BR for certain aircraft. And I could see this being just a tremendous way to start decompressing those BRs. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. You have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you in War Thunder.